In the frozen expanse of Antarctica, a team of elite Navy SEALs embarked on a daring expedition, tasked with conducting reconnaissance in one of the most inhospitable environments on Earth. Little did they know that their mission would lead to a chilling encounter with a mysterious creature known as the Ningen. The story was shared to Reddit in response to a query about the strangest experiences encountered while serving in the military. As the Navy SEALs ventured deeper into the icy wilderness of Antarctica, they encountered a landscape unlike any they had seen before. The original poster reported that their Navy SEAL team was stationed in Antarctica for various reasons, primarily related to national security and scientific research. They added that Antarctica is governed by the Antarctic Treaty System, which aims to preserve the continent for peaceful purposes and scientific research. However, due to its vast and remote nature, it's still vulnerable to security threats, such as illegal fishing, poaching, or unauthorized access by foreign entities. They were also tasked with conducting surveillance, securing sensitive research facilities, and providing protection against potential threats to national security. Despite the harsh conditions, the team pressed on, driven by a sense of duty and the promise of discovery. Their mission was to survey a remote region of Antarctica, and armed with state-of-the-art equipment and years of training, the SEALs braved the elements, prepared for whatever challenges lay ahead. As the SEALs explored the desolate landscape, they stumbled upon a sight that defied explanation, a massive creature looming beneath the icy waters of a frozen lake. Towering over the surface, the creature's pale humanoid form sent shivers down their spines, its unearthly presence filling them with a sense of dread. The user described the creature as resembling a giant, albino humanoid with elongated limbs and a bulbous head. Its skin glistened in the pale light, its eyes devoid of emotion as it regarded the intruders with an otherworldly gaze. Frozen in awe and disbelief, the SEALs watched as the creature disappeared beneath the icy depths, leaving them shaken but determined to unravel the mystery of its existence. The individual mentioned that the interaction was brief, yet they were confident about the accuracy of what they observed. The fleeting nature of the encounter did not diminish the certainty they felt regarding their perception. The individual added that they have traveled to various locations across the world, and this was by far the most unusual experience they had encountered. Interestingly, users beneath the post commented that they had encountered the Ningen, a creature of Japanese folklore that has long captured the imaginations of researchers. Described as a humanoid entity with aquatic features, the Ningen is said to dwell in the icy waters of the Antarctic, emerging only rarely to be glimpsed by unsuspecting witnesses. While skeptics dismiss the Ningen as a product of myth and imagination, eyewitness accounts and photographic evidence suggest otherwise. Reports of encounters with the creature date back decades, with sightings reported by fishermen, researchers, and explorers in the remote reaches of Antarctica. Some speculate that the Ningen may be a previously unknown species adapted to the extreme conditions of the polar regions, while others believe it to be a paranormal entity or extraterrestrial being. Whatever its origins, the Ningen remains one of cryptozoology's most intriguing mysteries, inspiring speculation and debate among researchers and enthusiasts around the world. The Navy SEALs' encounter with the Ningen raises profound questions about the nature of life on Earth and the mysteries that lie hidden beneath the icy depths of Antarctica. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, over 80% of the ocean remains unexplored. The estimated number of undiscovered ocean species is subject to ongoing research and debate among scientists, and it's widely accepted that over 1.7 million undiscovered ocean species remain. In the vast and chilling waters of Antarctica, an array of unique creatures thrives, unseen elsewhere across the globe. However, amidst this icy realm, an extraordinary being has been reportedly sighted, standing out with its nearly 90-foot frame and an eerie humanoid resemblance. This mysterious entity, often referred to as the Ningen, adds an element of mystique as if emerging from the depths of ancient myths and legends. The Ningen's presence in the icy waters of Antarctica continues to bewilder and fascinate, fueling speculation and curiosity about its origins and significance in this frozen landscape. The colossal marine entity referred to as the Ningen is commonly characterized as a gigantic, humanoid figure with a milky white complexion and fin-like protrusions resembling human limbs. Its skin bears a remarkable resemblance to the smooth, blubbery texture of a beluga whale. According to eyewitness accounts, this enigmatic creature is observed with two immense eyes positioned beneath its head and a wide, slit-shaped mouth, with no other discernible facial features reported thus far. Remarkably, witnesses have remarked on the nocturnal behavior of the Ningen, suggesting that it is predominantly active during the nighttime hours. Reports indicate that most sightings occur after dark, implying that the Ningen emerges to the surface under the cover of night, potentially foraging for food in the darkness or surfacing for respiration while evading detection. In the 1990s, a phenomenon known as the Ningen started gaining attention when Japanese fishermen reported an extraordinary encounter with one of these mysterious beings. The incident occurred as they were navigating the icy waters of the Pacific under a serene moonlit sky. Initially, the crew mistook the massive white entity for a submarine surfacing dangerously close to their boat. However, upon closer inspection, they realized that it was no man-made steel structure, but a colossal living creature. The awestruck fishermen, standing at the ship's side, were transfixed by the sheer size and paleness of this unfamiliar being. They were mesmerized as they observed it gliding gracefully and noiselessly across the ocean's surface before disappearing back into the cold, dark depths. This extraordinary sighting left the fishermen in a state of shock and wonder, forever etching the memory of the enigmatic Ningen into their minds. After the initial sighting was reported, numerous other fishing vessels in the southern Pacific Ocean near the Arctic region began to share accounts of encountering these extraordinary and colossal beings. The consistent description provided by a multitude of credible sources depicted a remarkable sight. The enormous creature was characterized by its unusually large, pale white body, featuring two immense eyes positioned above a sizable slit-like mouth. Additionally, it possessed appendages resembling limbs, crudely similar to human arms and legs. Reports on the estimated size of these creatures varied significantly, ranging between 20 to 90 feet in length, which is slightly shorter than the impressive size of a blue whale. The sightings of these mysterious entities sparked curiosity and intrigue among those who witnessed them, prompting further exploration and investigation into these inexplicable phenomena. Amid the initial surge of reported sightings, doubts regarding the authenticity of the Ningen creature began to surface, sparking speculations of a possible hoax. Shortly thereafter, digitally manipulated images began circulating online, inundating forums and chat rooms. These images were accompanied by first-hand testimonies that slowly circulated, primarily through early email platforms, purportedly depicting genuine encounters. The proliferation of such tactics, coupled with early internet audiences, swiftly led to the widespread belief that the Ningen was not merely a figment of the imagination. Although some dismissed the existence of the Ningen as pure fantasy, there existed select pockets of individuals who steadfastly clung to the belief that the enigmatic being, possessing corporeal form, glided silently through the frigid Arctic waters. Despite the prevailing skepticism, these steadfast believers remained convinced that the Ningen was not a product of fiction, but a real entity navigating the icy depths. Since its initial discovery more than 3 decades ago, the mysterious being referred to as the Ningen has sparked widespread speculation, with many suggesting that it could be a case of mistaken identity involving a known species. Some researchers postulate that what witnesses have encountered might be a large, yet undiscovered, subspecies of albino ray or skate lurking in the frigid waters. The purported albino trait of this entity could serve as an evolutionary advantage, allowing it to blend in with the icy expanse of the Arctic environment. On the other hand, skeptics argue that those who have sighted the Ningen could be confusing it with familiar whale species like belugas or bowhead whales. However, much like other instances involving cryptids, the confirmation of the Ningen's existence remains elusive. A conclusive verdict regarding its reality hinges on the discovery of a physical specimen that unequivocally proves its existence, or on extensive scientific investigations that repeatedly fail to produce any evidence to support its presence. One of the most intriguing aspects of Ningen sightings is the consistency of witness descriptions across different accounts. Multiple individuals from diverse backgrounds and geographic locations have reported encountering a creature matching the Ningen's description, lending credibility to the phenomenon in the eyes of its proponents. These witnesses attest to the creature's imposing size, its ghostly appearance, and its seemingly sentient movements as it navigates the icy depths of its oceanic domain. Numerous theories have been proposed to explain the origin and nature of the Ningen, ranging from the plausible to the fantastical. Some suggest that the creature could be a previously undiscovered species adapted to the extreme conditions of the Antarctic environment, while others speculate that it may be a mutated or genetically engineered organism resulting from clandestine scientific experiments conducted in the region. Despite the skepticism and uncertainty surrounding the existence of the Ningen, its legend persists as a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with the mysteries of the natural world. Expeditions to Antarctica continue to search for evidence of this elusive cryptid, driven by a desire to uncover the truth behind the tales that have captured the imagination of so many. In the absence of definitive proof, believers and skeptics alike are left to ponder the enigma of the Ningen and the possibility of its existence in the uncharted depths of the Antarctic Ocean. Whether the creature is a real biological entity, a cultural phenomenon, or something altogether stranger, its legend endures as a reminder of the boundless wonders and mysteries that lie beneath the surface of our planet's most remote and inhospitable environments. The Earth's oceans cover over 70% of its surface, making them the largest and least explored part of our planet. Despite their immense size and importance to life on Earth, much of the ocean remains unexplored and unknown to us. One of the main reasons why so much of the ocean remains unexplored is the sheer difficulty of accessing and studying its depths. Unlike land-based environments, where researchers can easily travel and conduct studies, the ocean presents numerous challenges and obstacles that make exploration a daunting task. The immense pressure, extreme temperatures, and total darkness of the deep sea pose significant challenges to both humans and technology, limiting our ability to explore these remote and inhospitable environments. Furthermore, the ocean is home to a diverse array of habitats and ecosystems, ranging from shallow coastal waters to deep-sea trenches and hydrothermal vents. Each of these environments presents unique challenges and opportunities for exploration, requiring specialized equipment and expertise to study effectively. As a result, many areas of the ocean remain largely unexplored, with vast stretches of seafloor and underwater landscapes waiting to be discovered. In addition to the physical challenges of exploring the ocean, there are also logistical and financial barriers that limit our ability to conduct comprehensive studies. Oceanographic research expeditions require significant funding, resources, and planning, making it difficult for scientists to explore every corner of the ocean in detail. Limited access to advanced technology and research vessels further complicates efforts to study the deep sea, leaving many areas unexplored and understudied. Beneath the shimmering surface of Earth's vast oceans lies a realm of mystery and intrigue, where the depths conceal secrets that have captivated human imagination for centuries. A diver shared this story on social media. He said the following: "During my professional experience, I worked with an individual who had a background in deep-sea welding. This individual possessed specialized skills and knowledge related to welding in extreme environments. Throughout his career, he was involved in a wide array of projects within the oceanic realm, including working on intricate structures like rigs that demanded him to descend to great depths below the ocean's surface. In the course of a conversation we had, he opened up about our shared interests, leading to a discussion about mysterious occurrences during our work at sea. This individual and I found ourselves engaging in an interesting conversation, delving into the unique and remarkable events that unfolded during our oceanic exploits. Having acquired a wealth of experience over the years, he confidently mentioned his proficiency in recognizing wildlife, noting frequent encounters with deep-sea fish, sharks, and a diverse range of squid species. His extensive background enabled him to effortlessly distinguish these creatures in their natural habitats, illustrating a deep connection with the marine environment. He mentioned that saturation diving is a lucrative occupation, acknowledging its financial rewards, while also highlighting the inherent dangers associated with the job. Additionally, he expressed a moment of hesitation regarding returning to the underwater environment following this particular experience, indicating a re-evaluation of his decision to dive again. On a specific instance, he recounted being summoned with his team to undertake a significant assignment involving the construction and upkeep of an oil rig along with the associated pipelines. This challenging task necessitated the coordination and meticulous maintenance of complex infrastructure to ensure operational efficiency and safety standards were met. The team's responsibilities encompassed not only the physical assembly and monitoring of the rig, but also the regular upkeep. During his time underwater, it was essential for every member of the team to have designated roles and responsibilities. In this subterranean environment, each member had their role, and it was important that they stuck to it. He explained that due to poor visibility, the task at hand posed significant challenges. The overall conditions made it a demanding job to execute, requiring careful attention and precision in every step of the process. On the fifth day, he mentioned that he assumed his position and commenced his work routine. However, roughly 20 minutes into his task, he began sensing a considerable weight making contact with his back. This sensation persisted, causing him concern and distracting him from his work. Upon initially considering the possibility that it could be a fellow team member, his suspicions dissipated as he pivoted around swiftly, only to find an empty space devoid of any presence. This scenario left him puzzled as he scanned the surroundings, realizing that no one was in the area. His subsequent consideration revolved around the possibility of it being a group of fish. He further elaborated that these oil rigs serve as a magnet for smaller aquatic creatures, offering them a shielded environment. These underwater structures not only provide a safe haven, but also play a pivotal role in nurturing a diverse ecosystem. Additionally, they act as a sanctuary, fostering the growth and sustenance of various marine life forms. After the incident occurred, he recalled that a short while later, he managed to catch sight of the mysterious entity. Struggling to find the right words to convey its appearance, he likened it to resembling a creature reminiscent of a squid-like form. This unusual encounter left an indelible mark on him, prompting deep contemplation and speculation about the uncanny resemblance to marine life. The individual explained that the creature entranced him through a process involving altering its form and hue, essentially putting him in a hypnotic state. This phenomenon was achieved through the organism's ability to morph and change color, thereby captivating and mesmerizing the diver. He mentioned that the encounter was unlike any other he had ever had, emphasizing his awareness and alertness during the event. He astutely observed that despite being conscious and cognizant of his surroundings, a peculiar sensation hindered his ability to move freely. In his recounting of the harrowing encounter, he expressed his enduring astonishment at the creature's ability to render him immobile without any physical contact. Amidst my inquiry regarding whether there were other witnesses to the unfolding events, the response I received unveiled a situation where one individual was positioned obscured by a substantial piece of equipment, limiting his line of sight. He explained that the rest of the diver team was engrossed in tasks located in obscured zones of the rig, rendering them unable to witness each other's actions. It was elucidated that even though the team was collectively present in the vicinity, the structural layout prevented visual contact among them, creating a scenario where the team members operated in isolated spheres within the same area. He further commented on the immense size of these buildings, noting that even when positioned in proximity to each other, the visibility within the specific area was considerably limited. Despite their close proximity, the structure's substantial mass hindered optimal visibility in the surrounding region. Upon further elaboration, he proceeded to describe the sequence of events that unfolded as the mysterious creature drew closer to him, gradually nearing a distance of approximately 10 feet. As it approached this proximity, he detailed how its appearance seemingly underwent a transformation, with its colors becoming subdued and its previously fluid movements transitioning into a state of stillness. Interestingly, it was at this particular juncture that he noticed a return of mobility in his own limbs, specifically in his arms and legs. After the aquatic beings departed, he expressed experiencing an excruciating headache and a profound sense of dizziness. The throbbing pain in his head was so intense that it was nearly unbearable. Upon the occasion of the incident, he mentioned that the situation was normal and uneventful leading up to his immersion in the water. He did not express any discomfort related to a headache. Furthermore, he had not consumed any beverages or substances that could impair his judgment, leading him to be confident in the accuracy of his observations. In this situation, his certainty stemmed from the absence of physical symptoms or influences that could cloud his understanding of the situation. When I inquired about the dimensions of the creature, he expressed uncertainty, stating that accurately determining its size was challenging. The sole recollection he had regarding its magnitude was that it significantly exceeded his own stature. This lack of precise estimation contributed to the mysterious nature of the creature, leaving room for speculation and reinforcing the perception of its immense proportions relative to his own. In his conviction, he distinguished the peculiar specimen he stumbled upon as a species divergent from the typical squids frequent in his work vicinity. He noted that the usual squids in those areas were significantly smaller in size compared to the strange creature he had encountered. Furthermore, he emphasized that the extraordinary capabilities exhibited by this particular entity were beyond the realm of possibility for the smaller squids he was accustomed to observing in that region. In his attempt to delve deeper into identifying the mysterious entity, he expressed his continuous efforts in researching the peculiar being he had come across. Despite his persistent searches, he consistently faced disappointment as each inquiry led to a dead end, failing to uncover any resemblance between the creature he encountered and known marine life like squids. During that moment, he specifically mentioned that I was the sole individual with whom he shared the anecdote, emphasizing his desire for absolute secrecy regarding the matter. This particular incident seemed to hold significant weight for him, as he expressed his reluctance for others to become privy to the details. In his confession, he acknowledged experiencing fear when contemplating a return to the water, citing the organism's ominous power to influence him, an unexpected and unprecedented revelation for him. The realization of being under such control left him deeply taken aback, given that he had never encountered such a situation previously. This newfound understanding of the organism's capacity to command his actions stirred a profound sense of astonishment within him. Despite the brevity of the interaction, which spanned merely a minute, the experience left a lasting impact that he had no desire to revisit. The fleeting nature of the encounter belied the depth of the emotions it evoked. The individual mentioned that the persistent headache endured for approximately a week, describing it as the most severe headache he had ever experienced. During this period, the intensity of pain was overwhelming, significantly impacting his daily activities and overall well-being. After this particular encounter, he expressed that the mysterious being never crossed his path again, leaving him puzzled to this day regarding the true nature of the entity he had come face to face with. Despite extensive reflection and contemplation, he is still unable to ascertain the identity or origins of the mysterious creature. Interestingly, this story reminded many of Organism 46b. Before information surrounding Organism 46b can be discussed, the environmental context must be thoroughly identified. Reports of Organism 46b and its habitation rests within that of Lake Vostok, located more than 700 feet beneath the glacial surface of the ice at its shallowest region, and roughly 2,600 feet at depth of its deepest region. It's at this depth that the ice from the Antarctic glaciers are under enough pressure to melt and form deep lakes. It's within one of these deep lakes, known as Lake Vostok, that the creature known as Organism 46b resides within. A supposedly leaked document surrounding the first attempts made by Russian researchers back on the 5th of February in 2012, while drilling to the lake's surface, made reference to the creature known as Organism 46b. The report itself was titled Organism 46b and detailed an increasingly bizarre story in which Russian researchers claimed to have encountered a massive colossal squid residing in the lake that could release toxins into the water, could squeeze itself down into small sizes, take on weird shapes, change its physical colors, and could cause a mild form of hypnotism if a person began to stare at the creature for too long. Here are quotes from the supposed letter written by a man named Dr. Anton Padalka. We encountered Organism 46b on our first day. It disabled our radio, which we later learned to our alarm was intentional. It's also able to paralyze prey from a distance of up to 150 feet by releasing its venom into the water. Tragically, my colleague and lifelong friend was taken out this way. He was treading water wearing a blissful smile as the organism approached him. It was as if it had hypnotized him telepathically. It shaped itself into the form of a human diver. We thought it was one of my colleagues swimming towards us in scuba gear. By the time the closest scientist had realized what it was, it had grabbed him and torn him to bits. End quote. Some variations of the legend claim that one of the tentacles to the creature had been chopped off, but that the severed tentacle later reanimated and strangled another member of the team. The legend ends claiming that there were few surviving members of the expedition and that Russian officials captured the creature in an attempt to cover up the event. Fact-checking the story leads to a number of strange dead ends that come about in areas of documented factual events that otherwise should have been explored. Here is the completed timeline of the factual events of the Lake Vostok drilling expedition. Back in January of 2011, scientists Valery Lukin and Sergei Bulat published a paper titled Vostok Subglacial Lake, Details of Russian Plans, Activities for Drilling and Sampling. Valery Lukin worked at the Russian Antarctic Expedition, Arctic and Antarctic Research Institute at St. Petersburg, Russia, and Sergei Bulat worked at the Petersburg Nuclear Physics Institute, Russian Academy of Sciences in Russia. The document detailed the first and only public plan for a Russian expedition into Lake Vostok. Here is a portion from the introduction of the paper surrounding the expedition. The Russian Federation has developed a national project involving the drilling and sampling of Vostok Subglacial Lake, East Antarctica. The objective is to explore this extreme icy environment using a variety of techniques to identify the forms and levels of life that exist there. End quote. During the time of the published paper, the Russian Federation had yet to receive support from the other nations of the world, as their borehole efforts were actively going against the Antarctic Treaty, with the United Kingdom and the United States petitioning the Russian Federation against borehole techniques due to the environmental impact of the sealed lake. Their opposition was due, in part, to the drilling techniques used by the Russian scientists, of which included the massive use of freon and kerosene to act as a lubricant for the drilling equipment, of which would immediately drain into the lake at the point of connection. Despite the Antarctic Treaty violation, the Russian Federation continued with their efforts. Within the published paper titled Vostok Subglacial Lake, Details of Russian Plans, Activities for Drilling and Sampling, the scientists detailed a new piece of technology that would allow the borehole to use a transportation module that could be sent down into the borehole via new mechanisms and enter into the lake. The diagram for the technology claims that the module device and the borehole would be only 123 millimeters in diameter and impossible to send a diver into. However, given the secrecy of the project and the designs used, such a technology could have been scaled up to send a research team into the borehole if made slightly larger. The technology also shows evidence of human-sized transportation modules, given that the module designs had a height and width that would scale to fit a human body in a cylindrical tube of a height 3 times the tube's width. By October of 2011, Valery Lukin, the co-author of the published paper, was at the Antarctic Research Station alongside Alexei Turkiev, of whom were both overseeing the drilling expedition. The expedition continued for several weeks, up until the end of December, before issues first arose amongst the expedition. The reason for why Valery Lukin first started his expedition in October of 2011 was due to October being the summer months for the Antarctic continent, keeping the location at its warmest for the expedition. These summer months only last from the beginning of October to the 6th of February. However, after the 6th, the expedition must be called off due to temperatures plummeting below 40 degrees Celsius. On the 28th of December, the team claimed that they had less than 5 meters left to drill before striking into the lake, and were confident they would meet their goal before the end of the Antarctic summer months. However, it was shortly after this last transmission that the team would then undergo a 6-day radio silence for reasons not entirely understood. This is an article that was published on the 3rd of February, 3 days before the reported breach confirmation of Lake Vostok. The world holds its breath, hoping for the best after 6 days of radio silence from Antarctica, where a team of Russian scientists is racing the clock and the oncoming winter to dig to an alien lake far beneath the ice. The team's last contact with colleagues in the unfrozen world was 6 long days ago, and scientists from around the globe are unsure of the fate of the mission and the scientists themselves. End quote. Given the last transmission, it was believed that the Russian team would have bored into Lake Vostok on the 29th of December. However, their claims of breach would come after a 9-day radio silence on the 6th of February, of which was the longest amount of time the expedition team could have waited before forcing the end of the expedition due to winter weather. This would have provided the team with more than 9 days to cover up any events that would have occurred shortly after the breach on the 29th of October. It's due to this that the sudden radio silence after the 28th of October provides a merit of truth to the claims of cover-up efforts, and over a week's span of time, dealing with Organism 46b. Shortly after the end of the expedition, half of Valerie Lukin's research team would end their careers in Antarctic expeditions and leave the research team without further information surrounding the members. The encounter with the Organism 46b led to the reported deaths of several top-secret Russian researchers, and so many believe that this is why the document could have been leaked as a warning to other researchers in the area. Despite the far-fetched abilities of Organism 46b, reports appear to match a number of known cases of squid and octopus entities in the real world. In fact, every single ability mentioned by the letters that Organism 46b might possess appears to match many of the abilities found in deep-sea species of cephalopods, an environment that would be similar in light, pressure, and water quality to Organism 46b. Here is a detailed writing surrounding the theoretical ability of telepathic traits of the creature and how the ability could be scientifically explained. Understanding Organism 46b and its ability to perform telepathic ability is both difficult and nearly impossible, as the mechanisms for telepathy are still not entirely understood in the modern day. However, assumptions and data information surrounding numerous marine animals can be made as to what might be responsible for the telepathic abilities. It's important to note that there is evidence and scientific endeavors in the realm of neuroscience, and the ability to translate the neuron's near-random electrical impulse firings into readable information that can be displayed or understood. In fact, back in 1999, there was a research study by Dan Yang at the University of Berkeley, California, that successfully recreated what a cat observes in the physical world using pure data retrieved from visual neurons. The implications of this finding means that if someone could create a technology so sensitive and accurate in picking up electromagnetic fields or electrical stimuli, one could remotely detect these occurrences coming from the human brain and work to gather the data required to translate your thoughts and brain signals into readable information. If we take this theory of data retrieval from the brains of animals via sensing electrical impulses and changes in the electromagnetic field, then there is evidence of evolution granting this ability amongst life here on Earth. Referred to as electroreception, it's a sense that humans do not seem to possess that gives animals the ability to perceive natural electrical stimuli in other forms of life around them. Electroreception on Earth has only been seen to occur almost exclusively in aquatic life or amphibious animals that spend their time in saltwater, since saltwater is a much better natural conductor compared to surrounding air. In fact, this ability is so sensitive that young sharks can recognize the specific characteristics and traits of electrical stimuli amongst predators, and hide before the creature even comes within sight. Given the fact that Organism 46b is expected to live its entire life in a completely dark underwater environment, it's possible that the species could have evolved a complex form of electroreception for its survival. Here is a detailed writing surrounding the theoretical ability of hypnotic traits within Organism 46b and how the ability could be scientifically explained. Squids are one of the very few species in the world that can camouflage and change the pigments of their skin so rapidly that they can make a variety of colors. Additionally, the glass squid species is capable of using bioluminescence in a deep-sea environment to temporarily stun fish and seemingly hypnotize them to be consumed. Given the depth and the lack of light deep within the underground Lake Vostok, it's of a high probability that if large marine animals were to exist within the trapped lake, they would also possess evolutionary abilities to generate bioluminescence. Bioluminescence, tied with a squid's ability to alter the color of the pigments of their skin, could create seizure-inducing colors and shapes that could temporarily cause an individual to become hypnotized or undergo a seizure if looking directly at the creature. This could explain the hypnotic effects as reported in the leaked document surrounding the creature. Here is a detailed writing surrounding the theoretical ability of shape-shifting traits within Organism 46b and how the ability could be scientifically explained. Given the lack of bones or large deposits of cartilage within an octopus, the species is capable of squeezing through small openings and shrinking their body size down to impossible sizes. In fact, A 600-pound octopus is capable of pushing its entire body through a hole the size of a quarter. As long as an opening is large enough to allow the creature to fit its beak through, it will travel through the opening with relative ease. It's for this reason that the claim of shape-shifting abilities of Organism 46b are realistic to the species of which it seems to have evolved from. Additionally, a borehole the size of 123 millimeters would have been more than enough of a size to fit its body through if it were to make an attempt to reach the surface of the glacier. Here is a detailed writing surrounding the theoretical ability of toxic traits within Organism 46b and how the ability could be scientifically explained. The use of toxins from Organism 46b seem to stem from real-life examples of cephalopods using small amounts of venomous toxins in the modern day. The blue-ringed octopus is an octopus only roughly the size of a standard-issue golf ball and contains enough venom to cause the demise of 26 adult male humans if its venom were to be injected. The blue-ringed octopus also has a number of other strange abilities, such as the ability to use jet propulsion by funneling water to allow it to move far faster in the water compared to other marine species. It could be possible that Organism 46b also possesses these abilities and is capable of ejecting venom similar to an ink sac to incapacitate species of larger size. This is if the size of Organism 46b is to be believed. If the claims surrounding Organism 46b are to be believed, the creature has the following abilities that have allowed it to take out several individuals within an incredibly short span of time. Shape-shifting, hypnosis, camouflage, colossal size, ability to shrink, telepathy, and large quantities of toxins. Given its danger and efforts needed to be contained by the Russian Federation, as claimed by the leaked document, this could very well mean that Organism 46b is one of the most dangerous creatures naturally living on planet Earth. Its ability to be weaponized for future efforts also seems to be a very real possibility, given the claims of the leaked document and other rumors that have surfaced surrounding the creature. So, what do you make of these mysterious stories? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.